How tone deaf is this woman? And what is she playing at, given we all know the very real rumours? So Meghan Markle thought it would just be hilarious and a great way to take us off the scent if she made her own joke about a baby not being hers and not being Prince Harry's, and suggesting that maybe some type of affair has been going on. Oh, so funny, isn't it? When you will not even tell us the truth about your own children. And we know that. So this was Meghan Markle deciding to pose with the newborn baby of her long-suffering close friend Kelly McKee-Zajfan, currently flavour of the month. This is the newborn Jack Oliver, face on full display, which is of course ironic for so many reasons. And Meghan accompanied that picture with the message, "We all know I love a redhead, and let me stop you before they start. No, it's not his baby." Laughing face emoji. So Kelly now has to pretend that she finds it funny that Meghan Markle is joking about her sleeping with her husband, Prince Harry, and reshared the story alongside ha, ha, ha. Well, no one finds it funny, Meghan, for very obvious reasons, because we do know the truth about your sordid life. Princess Carparkle writing, "I promise you nobody thought that. She's with Kelly Zajfan's baby and still had to make it about herself." Meghan Markle, you are so weird. Like, don't worry, you all. Harry didn't get my friend pregnant. What is wrong with her? I also think you've got to once again juxtapose that picture with Harry's ludicrous public comments in regards to social media and children.
You should be really, really worried, concerned, and cautious about putting photographs of your kids online.
Princess Carparkle added, "Still no engagement ring." So she's making another point there about her troubled marriage to Harry. And she's got a sour lemon face, like kissing a baby is icky. Apparently, it's perfectly fine, safe and appropriate to blast someone else's infant all over a global social media platform. Right, internet safety? For children advocate? Meghan Markle is the worst. Again, I would never post my children on social media. The only safe way to protect them is to keep them off. Before someone says, well, William and Catherine post their children, William and Catherine are very controlled about the photos they release a few times a year. The Wales children are public figures, second, third and fourth in line for the throne. So the Prince and Princess of Wales understand that there's a public interest and necessity because of the line of succession. They are responsible and cautious.
A surprising Instagram post, a flood of online reactions, and fresh questions about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's relationship. An unusual social media moment has sent royal watchers into a frenzy after Meghan Markle appeared to laugh off comments linked to old affair rumors involving Prince Harry and one of his close friends. But was it simply a joke? Was it harmless banter? Or has social media once again turned a small moment into a major royal controversy? Stay tuned, because this story is about far more than one Instagram post. It's about public perception, rumors, and why Harry and Meghan remain two of the most talked about people in the world. Ever since stepping away from royal duties, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have remained under intense public scrutiny. Every appearance, every interview, every business venture, and increasingly, every social media post. Supporters say the couple are constantly overanalyzed. Critics argue that public figures should expect attention. Either way, the fascination surrounding the Sussexes never seems to fade. And that's exactly why this latest Instagram moment has generated so much debate. The controversy began after an unusual social media post triggered discussions among royal commentators and online users. Within hours, old rumors and speculation resurfaced. Social media exploded with theories. Some people believed the post was simply playful and lighthearted. Others questioned why such a sensitive topic would be joked about at all. Importantly, many of the rumors circulating online remain exactly that, rumors, and speculation. Yet that hasn't stopped people from debating the issue. Because when it comes to Harry and Meghan, almost every social media moment becomes headline news.
Lauren, the insider, this was just so bizarre on so many levels because for the first time it is Meghan Markle acknowledging she follows everything, she reads everything, she knows that we're on her in regards to how the birth of the so-called children really happened. She knows that we're on her about what's really going on in the marriage of Prince Harry. But I do think there is overall a really important point that why on earth would you pose with your friend's newborn baby, a really beautiful, precious moment, and decide to make it about sordid sexual rumors involving your husband cheating on you?
It's absolutely disgusting. I think the part I find most offensive is since she fled to California and left the royal family, her entire USP has been about censorship and the dangers online for children. And we've seen Harry push this as well. They're pushing this because they've got nothing left. They've got no relevance. And so without philanthropy and these ludicrous censorship, crusade angles they're pushing, they have nothing. But here's where I have a real problem. They're fakes. Because if you truly, truly felt that about social media, even if Kelly had said, Meghan, I really want you to post this picture, you would say, do you know what, Kelly? I know you do want that, but honestly, because of the work I've been doing for the last 6 years regarding censorship and the dangers online, I am telling you, please don't do this. I don't want to put it on my flat platform. And here's why, X, Y, and Z. But here we have a woman who has ultimately been given scripts that have been written for her. She has gone to Geneva with the World Health Organization and absolutely talked about things she does not know about. And she's not really bothered about it, Dan, is she? Because if this was a woman that was worried about children's faces being in the public domain, she would not let her friend put that picture out there. Now, yes, it was on Meghan's Instagram, but even if Kelly had said, I want you to do it, you would say, no, this is really something that I'm passionate about. But this is why we see Meghan being a hypocrite time and time again, because she is not a talented woman. And I'm not being nasty saying it. There is a reason why she has to continue pushing certain angles, such as the censorship, because she truly has nothing. You've got Meghan with the censorship and Harry with the veterans. They have both been handed these kind of advocacy templates to push, and they don't know what they are talking about, because anyone that had looked into this area and was pushing this area would not then post their friend's child. But it's always one rule for Meghan Markle. This is a typical narcissist, in my opinion.
Yes, big time, because no one would have ever thought, oh, that baby is Harry's, until she put that idea out there. It's also incredibly interesting, Lauren, too, because if you just think about her words, let me stop you before they start. Okay, so the they is people like you, people like me. No, it's not his baby. Laughing face emoji. I mean, it's a very big deal, Lauren, for someone married to a royal to acknowledge publicly rumors of affairs. I mean, that's something that Prince Charles and Princess Diana didn't acknowledge for a very long time. Yet here is Meghan acknowledging those rumors as if it's some type of throwaway joke in an Instagram post. It's almost as if, Lauren, she is encouraging this speculation.
Well, we often see Meghan do that in the public eye. She will try and rile people and orchestrate certain things. But what I think is absolutely shocking is we all know, tragically, that Kelly lost her child before. And so Meghan just wants to make this about her and about Harry and about, joking about an affair. It's just not funny in the slightest. But Meghan isn't funny in the slightest. I just cannot believe years down the line, people are still aligning with this woman. People need to open their eyes. She is a very, very toxic woman that makes it all about her and just then becomes the victim and thinks she's being funny. She doesn't have a funny bone in her body, Dan.
Yeah, this was particularly toxic and weird and creepy. Then, Lauren, we get the was never awkward Father's Day pitch, which on just so many levels was so wrong. So this is what she emailed out. Breakfast for him. Whether you need a simple way to say thank you to Dad or simply want to create a comforting morning moment, breakfast in bed is the perfect treat. Gather your favourite morning baked goods. We love a buttery, flaky croissant and serve with a dab of salted butter and a swipe of our strawberry spread and a slice of a favourite fresh fruit and pour a steaming cup of coffee or herbal lemon ginger tea. Breakfast served bedside with a warm smile and a loving hug is a simple way to remind those we love how special they are. I mean, firstly, she clearly is not in touch with fathers, right? Because she is describing the breakfast that she wants.
If I bought that to my husband on Father's Day, he'd think I'd lost my mind. First of all, he'd say the dogs will jump on the bed and send it flying. And then he'd say, where's a bacon butty with some ketchup?
Exactly.
But this is the thing. It's so elitist. It's so classist. And this is a woman that thinks that she can convince us all that she's happy. She can convince us all that she's got the perfect life. Well, let me tell you, Meghan Markle, I get my bacon in Aldi and I'd have a bacon butty on Mother's Day, or my husband would rather on Father's Day. And we're happier than you'll ever be, Poppet, because we don't have to curate a certain lifestyle to try and convince the world that we're happy. My husband would honestly think I'd gone bonkers, Dan, if I bought a tray like that through with fresh fruit. He'd think, what's wrong with you?
And a little honey lemon ginger tea. Absolutely. And then all I just kept thinking, Lauren, though, was that, well, what about her own dad? I mean, okay, she's clearly talking about celebrating Prince Harry in her post. That's what she would do for Prince Harry as the father of her baby. But actually, it's Father's Day. Your own father is alive, Meghan. And actually, what he would want more than anything in the world would just be a thank you from you. A simple way to say thank you. That is what he wants. So where do you get off?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't fit the narrative, does he, for her? She was quick to drop him and quick to drop her family, and then it was just Meghan and Doria. And this is really tragic as well, because when you see celebrity and fame start to change those kind of family dynamics, and you see people like Meghan cut people out because it doesn't fit the script of what they want to be perceived as. That's really, really disgraceful. So you've got Meghan trying to convey the perfect family life, looking at a tray of food that no one would want to eat. And the reality is she doesn't speak to her family. And she has far from a picture perfect family. You know, the family that she married into, she's done nothing but trash them and cause them anxiety and disrupt their peace. And then she doesn't talk to her own father or to her, half siblings. So this is a woman that is an unbelievable hypocrite. But you keep doing you, Meghan. You keep putting that fresh fruit and edible flowers on a platter and thinking we'll believe it, because that is just ridiculous.
The Royal News Network did not like this advertisement at all, posting, "This is the worst idea for a Father's Day promotion, but it's Meghan Markle's as ever, so it's par for the course. This reeks and screams woman, not man. Harry might be a sucker, but vast majority of the male population has zero interest in her slop." That was your point, Lauren, really. And then Harry Meghan's spare said, "Boy, she really has some nerve. Says thanks to Dad." Says the woman who cut her own father out of her life, denied him the chance to meet his son-in-law, and never allowed him to know his grandchildren. Now she wants to lecture the rest of us about celebrating Father's Day. The hypocrisy is staggering. Meghan has spent years preaching family values while treating her own father as disposable. spare us the sentimental marketing campaign. And Lauren, this is the fundamental flaw in her business, isn't it? Was Never is collapsing. She's having to now try and use little known influencers to pretend to the rest of the world that this product isn't her. But the thing is, it is all her, and that's why no one wants to buy it.
Yeah, it's funny as well because you're seeing influencers bought in to try and shift units, but they're still not shipping outside of the US. So this is a business whereby they've probably overbought and they need to shift that stock before it goes out of date. So the quickest way to do that is to pay influencers to do little campaigns and try and tap into their audience. But we're living in really hard times. People do not have the money or inclination to buy into brands that, first of all, we know are white labeled, but also she's unlikable and she's trying to sell a lifestyle that is not compatible with the real world person. She tries to be the Kardashians all the time. But if the Kardashians were to do that now, it wouldn't work either. Times have changed. No one wants edible flowers, and also no one wants wine that she's trying to flog. It is so embarrassing. Just stop, Meghan.
Indeed. New reporting from Paula Frolic in News Nation revealing that Princess Anne has said that Meghan Markle couldn't follow simple rules. This is interesting, Lauren. It's a new exclusive. And it reads, Princess Anne is known amongst royal circles as not only level-headed, but able to get a good read on people pretty quickly. And my sources say she sized up Meghan Markle almost instantly. One source was recently at a party with the princess when someone asked about Prince Harry's wife. A chill went over the crowd. The source said everyone just looked at each other with utter disgust. The words expressed to my source were, we can't say too much, but Meghan was incapable of fitting in with anyone because she couldn't cope with following simple rules as she felt her way was better. My source added, once Meghan realised nobody was interested in her way, she would hide away and just use her ways with hers and Harry's staff until they wanted out of her presence because it was completely bonkers. A damning verdict from Princess Anne, Lauren, but actually one that I think makes a lot of sense about why things went wrong.
I mean, Princess Anne's great. I love her, and she's no nonsense, puts her head down, gets on with the job, and is incredibly hardworking. There's no airs or graces when it comes to Anne at all. And so you can imagine, can't you? Meghan Markle comes in, having retained a publicist previously and thought she was a movie star. And Princess Anne must have thought, what is this? And she was quite right as well, because Meghan has been nothing but trouble for this family. She has tried to smear this family. She has tried to call them racist, knowing they could not answer back. And she has gone out of her way to try and break this institution. I love the fact that Princess Anne is on the ball, she's ahead of the curve, and she was absolutely bang on with this because Meghan doesn't fit in. Meghan never wants to assimilate. Meghan wants to be doing what she wants, and that is not compatible when you are in a royal family. This is, well, you know, why Catherine, Princess of Wales, is such an asset to this family. Many people feel that she's the favourite royal and everyone loves her, but there's never airs and graces about her at all. She is quite happy to slot into that hierarchy underneath King Charles, and she is very, very dutiful, and that's something that Meghan Markle could never get her head around. And Meghan had the world at her feet, and she was the one that ruined it.
What makes this story fascinating is how quickly narratives form online. A single post, a few reactions, a handful of interpretations, and suddenly millions of people are discussing something that may have never been intended to become a controversy. The internet moves fast, and once speculation begins, it often takes on a life of its own. especially when the people involved happen to be among the world's most famous couples. But here's where the story becomes even more interesting. Because this isn't really about Instagram. It's about perception. Public perception has become one of the defining challenges facing Harry and Meghan. Everything they do is viewed through existing opinions. Supporters tend to see innocence and misunderstanding. Critics often see hidden meanings and calculated moves. As a result, even the smallest moments can become enormous stories. The debate surrounding this Instagram post may actually reveal more about the audience than it does about Harry and Meghan themselves. Because everyone sees the story differently. What's particularly fascinating is the power of rumors. Even old stories can return to the headlines years later with just one social media post. The internet rarely forgets. And once a narrative becomes part of public discussion, it can resurface again and again. For Harry and Meghan, this means every new post is examined in extraordinary detail. A photograph, a caption, a comment. Everything becomes part of a much bigger conversation. Meanwhile, the wider royal family continues attracting attention of its own. King Charles III, Prince William, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, remain central figures in royal headlines. Yet despite living thousands of miles away and no longer being working royals, Harry and Meghan continue dominating international news cycles. That level of interest is exactly why stories like this spread so quickly. Perhaps the biggest lesson from this story isn't whether the post meant anything at all. It's how a simple social media moment can instantly become a worldwide discussion. A joke, a reaction, a caption. And suddenly millions of people are debating relationships, intentions, and rumors. That's the reality of life under the spotlight. Especially for Harry and Meghan. So was this simply harmless humor? Or does the public sometimes see deeper meanings where none exist? The answer may depend entirely on who you ask. But one thing is certain. The fascination surrounding Harry and Meghan shows no signs of slowing down. At its core, this isn't really a story about an Instagram post. It's a story about celebrity culture, public curiosity, and the incredible power of social media to turn ordinary moments into global headlines. For Harry and Meghan, that reality continues shaping every chapter of their public lives. If you enjoy royal news, palace drama, and in-depth analysis of the biggest stories involving Harry, Meghan, William, Catherine, and the royal family, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Because the next royal headline could be even more surprising than this one.